Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's video. We are going to be ranking my predictions for the 2021-2022 Premier League season. Alright, so now we're going to be going from 20th to 1st. So starting with 20th place, I'm going to have to sadly put Newcastle in 20th place due to their season they had last year. I know I can't really just judge it off of one season, but I just feel like consistently they've been getting worse and worse, and I feel like if they want to do better, they're going to need to get some better players. So I'm not 100% positive about this one. They definitely could not get relegated, but this one was tough. 19th place, I had Watford, newly promoted, got 2nd place in the championship. They have some great players, Ben Foster, Troy Deeney, just some great all-out players that can really perform when they need to. And my biggest thing for Watford is they are kind of very inconsistent, and that the fact that they're inconsistent definitely affects what place they get. So if they have an inconsistent season, they're just gonna do terrible. With you win a game, you win against a great team, then you lose 3 in a row to an awful team. So I guess it's all just down to what they can perform like this season. I mean, Watford never do amazing in the Premier League. I don't think they've ever made top 10. Well, maybe once or twice. But I just feel like they don't have it in them. Not get relegated. Because to be honest, I literally have no clue how they made it into the Premier League. So I think Watford 19th. Now, 18th place, Norwich. I think it's going to be a close call between 18th and 17th. 1 or 2 point difference. But the reason I say Norwich is because every single season they make it into the Premier League, they get relegated. They make it into the Premier League, they get relegated. So that is just a chain reaction that keeps happening almost every season. They just get in and then they get out. I'm hoping that they can break it because I want to see them in the Premier League, but I feel like it's kind of just a curse on the team, and they don't have too many great players. Like, they have Pookie and Cantwell, I think, which are pretty good, but I don't know how well they'll do in the long run, because newly promoted teams always start out great, but then towards the middle and end of the season they start to go down a little bit. So just purely because of their chain that they always do every season going in and out, I'm going to put them 18th. Alright, now for 17th place, Brighton Hove Albion. The reason I chose Brighton for 17th was because I just feel like every season they're kind of descending lower and lower in the table, and they never get any new signings. I mean, the only signing that they got and actually start was Welbeck, and that was 2 or 3 seasons ago, I think. I feel like they have great players and they have the potential, but they just need somebody better up top, I think. Or just somebody better on the wings to feed the up top. So I feel like Welbeck's a good striker. He just doesn't get enough balls to score the goals. But another bummer for them was they lost Ryan last season, their goalkeeper. So Ryan, or not get him back, but if they don't get another good keeper like Ryan, I feel like their season's gonna not be very good, just like it was last season when they lost them. Alright, 16th place. This one's a bit of a shocker even for me, but Crystal Palace. So I know that they have a new manager, Patrick Vieira, and Roy Hodgson is out of it, but I think I'm gonna have to put Crystal Palace 16th because I feel that Usually teams start out great with a new manager, but I feel like Crystal Palace are just losing a lot of their players. Like Townsend went to Everton. I know Zaha wants to move, which will probably happen. I think he might want to go to Arsenal or something. So I just feel like there's a lot of players that are leaving because of the last couple seasons they had. And I just feel like Patrick Vieira won't be the greatest manager because just because he was a good player doesn't mean he'll be a good manager. Alright, so 15th place, Burnley. That's what I'm going to have to put. 15th place, Burnley. I think they might deserve higher, but I feel like some of the teams deserve a little better than them. But Burnley 15th, they just play very dirty and strong, which I feel like very much affects them with red cards throughout the season. I feel like they definitely have some great players like Westwood, Ashley Barnes, and Nick Pope in goal. I don't think they have a good enough defense other than Nick Pope to stop enough goals. Like, they definitely have goal scorers in their midfield and their strikers, but I just feel like they don't have enough good defenders. Right, 13th place. This is going to be a shocker for some people, but 13th place I'll have to put Arsenal. Alright, Arsenal in 13th. I know this might sound weird. This will be the lowest they've ever finished in Premier League history. So I'm going to put Arsenal in 13th because they finished 10th last season. And I know the table was really close, so they really could have finished anywhere. But I just feel like they have the good players. I don't know what it is. They have great players. Lacazette, Aubameyang, Saka, Leno. They have the good players, but they just can't perform. And I think part of it is the manager. I think Mikel Arteta is just not doing that well. And I'm surprised they haven't been looking for a new manager. So I feel like that'll be crucial in helping them finish higher up. And I feel like every season they just get worse and worse. And I don't know if that's because of injuries or something, but I feel like they're really going to need to step it up this season. 12th place, Southampton. I think they might deserve in the top 10, but after seeing last season, there's a lot of underdogs that deserve the place over them. Last season was weird for Southampton. Started out insane. They were literally so good. And then they kind of went downhill a little bit and played really bad, but then picked up the pace and was pretty good towards the end. So I don't know what really happened there, but from what I know is that when they picked up pace again after doing really bad, they switched their keepers, and that definitely helped. So they used to have McCarthy, I forgot who they have now, but having a new keeper just really helped them. So I think that was important in their success. And I just think Southampton is a great team. Ward-Prowse can literally score almost every free kick. Danny Ings, if he gets injured a lot every season. So if he doesn't get injured, I can definitely see them higher up on the table. But just because of his age, he's probably going to get injured once or twice in this season, and that will kind of push them down. If they can get a new player, a new striker, because I think Walcott was only on loan to them and is back on Everton, they could get a new player that could be very crucial. Alright, 11th place, Leeds United. So I think this is not that much of a shocker. They got 10th place last season. They haven't really gained anyone, except I think they got Ferdo, I don't know how to pronounce his name, from Barcelona, who looks pretty good, and I think I might pick him up in fantasy. But they finished 10th place last season. I'm going to say 11th this season, because I feel like a lot of the reason why they got 10th place was because of their forwards and just like excitement for being a newly promoted team and not being in there for a while. So I feel like as much like excitement and hype, it'll still be there, but I feel like not as much, which will bump them down a little bit. And I feel like Patrick Bamford will definitely perform like always, but they kind of need a better defense. They can't defend anything, but they can score so many goals and they can't defend anything. They're a very inconsistent team. You never know what to expect when you see them on the field. All right, 10th place, Wolves. So this one is kind of a shocker. I was kind of debating on putting them a little higher, but I think 10th because I think Wolves lost Nuno, and I think that's going to be very influential in their performance because since they lost Nuno, I feel like they can't, like, he was the perfect manager for them. The way he taught those players is exactly how they played, and I just think that works out. And I feel like they weren't performing bad. Nuno just chose to leave, and I'm not sure if they found a new manager yet. I don't know who he is if so. And Jimenez, they're probably gonna start him almost every game, but in the beginning of the season, I feel like he won't really do that well from coming back for that big injury. Right, now heading on to the top 10, 9th place, Aston Villa. Alright, so they played so good last season, Aston Villa did. And I just think with Grealish and Mings and all those amazing players, Martinez at the back, I just think they're going to be unstoppable. I think 9th might even be a little low for them, but if you see my higher rankings, I don't know how I could really put them any higher. But Grealish just so good on the wing. Mings didn't have a great last season, but he's still a good player. And Martinez winning the Copa America, being their goalkeeper. I feel like they're going to be really good if they don't lose Grealish, which there's talks of him going to City, but I don't think he'll want to leave, Aston Villa. 8th place, West Ham. So I think that's pretty accurate to depending on how they performed last year. They definitely performed really well last year, just with amazing players, and they're kind of just underdogs if you think about it, because they used to be finishing like mid in the bottom table, and now they're starting to get up there, and they're going to be fighting for FA Cup and Champions League, which would be nice to see them get up there. And West Ham is just so good with all of their players, Lanzini, and I think a big part of the reason why they did so good is because of Jesse Lingard. He played like half or less than half of a season, and they literally, he brought them to get a lot higher. I know they were already doing good, but I just feel like he's a big reason, and they should thank him for that. Right, 7th place, this is a big shocker for some people, but 7th place and going after Tottenham Hotspurs. So they got 10th place last season, but I know the table was kind of neck and neck, so that doesn't mean much. But I'm going to put them 7th because Tottenham, Kane and Son are just so good together, but we're not totally sure yet if Kane's going to stay. We know Son is going to stay, signed a 3-year contract. So the combination of Son and Kane are just overpowered. Kane getting most goals and assists last year, and I think that they can definitely make top 4 if Bale signs for them and doesn't go back to Real Madrid on loan. If he does, there's talks of it happening, but I don't think it'll happen, so that's why I'm going to put them in 7th place. I just feel like they're not good enough, and now that they've lost Alderweireld, like, who do they have, honestly, in the back? Who's going to be their center backs? Dyer and Sanchez? I just feel like it isn't good enough, even though they have Lloris in goal. They're going to need some defenders or Pete Bale. Right, 6th place, Everton. I feel really good about how I think Everton's going to perform this season. They got some great signings. They got Begovic. They got Townsend. They just got some great underdogs that a lot of people might not think of. And I just feel like Everton will do really well throughout this season. And I just feel like they always perform well, but they never seem to make it into the FA Cup just because of the competition with Tottenham and now Leicester, who recently in the past couple of seasons. So I just think Everton will do really well. I wish I could put them a little higher, but if you know the teams that'll probably be higher, I don't think I could put them much higher. Alright, 5th place, Leicester City. It hurts to not put them in the Champions League because of how close they are, but everyone knows Leicester's just an insane team, winning the Premier League, their 2nd ever season in the Premier League. Jamie Vardy, James Maddison, they're so good. Peter Schmeichel in goal. I just think they're just so good. I mean, there's not much to describe about them. I think 5th place is around where they finish every season. I can't really put them any higher because Chelsea, I would probably put Leicester 4th and Chelsea 5th if they didn't have that good of a season. I just think Chelsea deserved to make it a lot higher after what they did last season. 4th, Manchester City. Alright, a lot of people will probably be so mad at me for this, but I'm going to put Man City 4th, surprisingly, because they're banking on getting a new striker, and they might not get him. There's talks of Lukaku or Haaland or something like that, or even Kane, but if they don't get them, Jesus is their one up top, and I know they can easily score goals without it, but I feel like they're kind of depending on getting a striker, and if they don't get it, that's kind of going to bum the whole team out because they were banking on this striker, and I know they can easily score goals without them, but I feel like Liverpool, Man United, and Chelsea will just have such a better season than them, and 4th place will be the lowest Pep Guardiola has ever finished. I just feel like something will happen to City, like De Bruyne injured for a good part of the season. I just feel like I don't feel confident in Man City this season. I don't know what it is, but I just don't feel confident. 3rd place, Chelsea FC. So I'm going to put Chelsea there because I might have put them a little lower, but after last season, they really did good reviving themselves to get a lot higher in the rankings towards the end of the season. They won Champions League. They made it to the FA Cup final. Conte is just so good. Mason Mount. I think literally there's talks of Lukaku going to Chelsea. If Chelsea get Lukaku, they're winning the league 100% because they just have an amazing squad that has the Premier League title potential. They just need a bit more goals. They can definitely get goals outside of that, but Werner just either needs to step it up a lot or they need to get a big striker. So I know going from 3rd to 1st is kind of a big jump, but if they get Lukaku, I think they're going 1st. Man United. I think Man United are going to finish 2nd, just like last season. I'm not totally sure how they even finished 2nd. Like, I feel like they didn't perform that much better than, like, Chelsea and Liverpool did. But they got 2nd, so I feel like they'll be there again just because of Varane and now Sancho as their defenders and Luke Shaw. I feel like that defense is so good, and especially with Henderson in goal, maybe De Gea here and there, and Cavani and Fernandes. I just think I think that Man United kind of deserves that second place spot. I don't think they're good enough to get first, but I feel like they'll just have a good season with their new signings, and I feel like they won't score much goals, but they'll have an unstoppable defense. Alright, and the Premier League winner for 2021-22, my prediction is Liverpool. I think Liverpool will win the Premier League title because they just got a new signing, Konate, and Van Dijk will be back. Just imagine that. They're both like 6'5" in the center back. They're just so bulky with Roberts, Ali Arnold on the sides, and Allison in goal. Who can get past that? Literally, who can get past that? I feel like it's just unstoppable. I know Van Dijk's had a rough start in preseason, but you gotta give him a break. It's his first time playing in so long. So I just think they'll do so good. And their kind of weak spot was, of course, mainly their defense last season, just because of injuries. But they didn't really score much goals up top. But I think it's because all their good midfielders that feed the trio up top were all playing in defense because all their defenders were injured. So I think Liverpool got first because even with having a bad start and middle of the season and not having Van Dijk and kind of having goal shortage, they still got third place. So I think Liverpool will take home the trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my 2021-2022 Premier League prediction. Liverpool first, Newcastle last. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I'm going to be uploading in a couple weeks my rankings of the new kits for every season, the new jerseys. So comment down below if you want to see that, and I'll see you guys in the next one.